And we are immediately back into game as you guys have missed just a little bit. Spirit Rush going right in, trying to catch out Aqua Felix right now with the fact that Monkey Mafia having such a lead, and we do see the Cyclone coming out of the Wukong, not going to be able to really land on anybody. Baby Cage able to surround the Amumu, gonna miss the bandage toss onto the Vigar as he's currently trying to run for his life. Flash, Snot Bubble, Q gonna land. Mom is called down. Baby Cage drops. Storm gonna land, and that's gonna be the end as that chase down leads to the 4th death for Aqua Felix.
Yeah, and unfortunate that we got a little bit of a too much downtime here. We appreciate your patience as we're coming back into here, but yeah, not much has changed, right? When we left, it was 10-1, and now it's 12-2, and now 13-2 after Aqua Felix getting caught out on the Vagar once again, not having the same kind of a success that he was on the Silas, but then again, King Vulgai has just been absolutely outstanding and everywhere on this map, and you could see it in these fights where he's just literally just jumping on top of Aqua Felix, not worrying about getting stuck, not worrying about dying, just trying to create as much chaos as he can. And Bloom Gaming completely on the back foot of this one. 3 dragons down with one about this, with the Mountain Soul about to spawn in 140. Didn't get the grubs, like haven't really gotten anything out of this game so far. So just a huge 180 from game 1 as we're coming up onto the 20-minute mark and Baron being spawned here in game 2.
Every single game plan that could have potentially been done for Bloom Gaming at this point has kind of blown up in their face, unfortunately. And we are now at that point where they just have to hope that they can, or like in the last game with Monkey Mafia, hope that they can get some really good picks. Don't give up too much as the clone catches that bandage toss. Flash in, Curse of the Sad Mummy gonna lock down 2 members, but it's not gonna be able enough as the Smolder is locked down and taken out by the Vigars. That's a big shutdown over to the Bloom Gaming mid laner as they're able to keep finding King Vul as another shutdown goes to their jungler, but the unstoppable Olaf able to get immediately into the back line as the Zeri tries to get away. Big triple kill to Esco, able to turn that fight completely around and make it a big win for the side of Monkey Mafia.
Yeah, there really wasn't anything they could do. The fancy feet on Esco there on the Olaf, just showing just a lot of determination and grit here as he coming into there and just like locking in, coming out of nowhere and just mowing them down one by one. I do like the fact that like before Olaf entered that fight that Monkey Mafia was able to actually get a couple of kills there and to turn things around a little bit, or I'm sorry, Bloom Gaming. So it is not over yet. We are starting to see that the Vagar starting to pump out a lot of damage, able to basically one-shot Smolder. But yeah, once the... a little bit of a cheeky steal with the key from Chromium there. But yeah, once the Olaf joined, like they're going to have to figure out something to do with him. Either get him to blow his stuff early or get in late as another fight.
We do have a fight jumping in. The Nami wave going to come out as Esco is going to find himself on a rampage, taking out the Vigar early in the fight as my team is muted, is able to take out Angel on the backside. Duddy going to end up getting slain by the Ari as the Ari continues to chase down. Double kill going over to the mid laner for Monkey Mafia as right now is Chromium all alone, all by himself as the Lulu cannot help. They are deterred away. Chromium gonna be taken down as Monkey Mafia absolutely dominating the map in this game too.
Yeah, this is just this one is not going well for Bloom Gaming at all. I think that they put too much of their eggs in the scaling basket, and Monkey Mafia doing what you're supposed to when you're up against a huge scaling comp, which is take the fight to them early, take the fight to them often, get the advantages wherever you can. And King Vulgai, can't say enough about what he's done on this mummy, as opposed to, especially, in contrast to what he did last game on the Kindred. Like, he has been all over. He has set up everybody. He has given so much agency to his laners early on. You see this 2-1-13. He's just been everywhere on this map, and it is starting to show that like why he is vaunted as the #1 jungler in Olympus right now, because he is just taking over this game.
It's definitely playing absolute circles around them right now as this Amumu, as they're looking to the Baron now. I feel like there's no potential take really from the side of wow. of Bloom Gaming unless they could get some type of mystical Baron steal, but immediately a turn onto the Lulu, and that's a dead support for Bloom Gaming, and that's just it. That secures the Baron for them. They'd have no way of fighting this at any point. Chromium really was looking to try to do something as they jump right over the wall. We're going to be able to lock him down. To Scion now going to end up losing his life as another kill goes over to the Nami. And that is 2-0-13 on this. Nami is actually pretty impressive. But the Angel's gonna be able to Angel's gonna be able to take another stack down onto the Scion zombie, as they do get an objective bounty though down the bot side, as Aquaphilus is really trying to stay in this game. I'm not sure how I feel about usually Rod of Ages I do feel pretty good on if you're able to get ahead as a Vigar. But right now, it's like, all right, he just backed and got the Rabadon. So now maybe he'll actually be able to do some damage, potentially catch out the Squishy off on the side, and maybe turn one of these fights around, because it has been actually Aquaphilus where he's gotten some of the big shutdowns in the middle of fights. He just can't stay alive long enough.
Yeah, and I know what you're saying with the rod. Normally you get the tier, and then you build the rod, and then you get the Seraphs, and that's all of your, like, that's half extra damage, and it's like super duper scaling. Yeah, he could have went for a Ludens from the get go, but I do think this is the right call, going for the Rod of Ages. You do need a little bit of tankiness, especially in the face of the Mummy and the Ari, and then eventually the Smolder. You don't want to get one shot. You want to be able to one shot. So that is going to happen. The Rabadons is going to help make that happen. But it does look like it's almost dive time, as we're getting 3 waves coming in all at the same time, crashing on 3 different tier 3 turrets. So Monkey Mafia not pulling the trigger too much, and I kind of like the patience that they're showing, but they are going to have to do something to get one of these lanes to break. It's probably going to come off the back of a Vul guy bandage / flash into Curse of the Sad Mummy. Here, coming soon.
We do see the baby cage now dropped, and that might be the opportune time. Bandage toss, first one's going to miss, but they're getting a little chunk of damage down onto the Vigar, and that's what they want to look for. Going to be able to get the knockup landed on the Esco, as Chromium not trying to go win. Trapped in the baby cage, but I think Vulgai is looking for that, as he's trying to see if he can find someone over this wall, but this turret now being buffed up by the with the Baron buffed up cannon minions, going to be able to take it down, and that's also going to be the mid inhib as well, dropping, splitting them up. So well done by the side of Monkey Mafia, as the bandage toss is going to land right onto the Scion. Gonna immediately back off as they get in the middle. Double caught as 2 get immediately cycloned in, but I don't think there's enough follow. Galkophilus though able to find the kill onto the Smolder, but the Ari is still too fed as it goes unstoppable. Double kill as they're able to take out the Zeri, but this is also gonna be the game of the Olaf that they're looking to chase. Ultimate now used by the Scion to try to get away. Only standing team member of Bloom Gaming, and that's actually gonna be the games. And as we're going into a game 3 here on Titan Olympus, as Monkey Mafia absolutely turning around. There's the ace, there's the game, and they're definitely looking for the Nexus here.
Yeah, and I think that, like, this is kind of like, you were talking about in the draft, like the terraforming, and where you create extra terrain and all this other stuff, and like using the baby cage as an example. I think that Bloom Gaming forgot that Olaf is a champion, and I don't know if Esco is known for this or not, but that was a masterclass up in Olaf top lane. Like, hats off to him. If I was wearing a hat, I'd throw it for you right now. But that was insane. Like how well he played that, how patiently he played that, and then for King Vulgai to just go up there and then gank on repeat. After the Scion died the first time, he died like 3 more times within the next like 3 minutes, right? And so I think that, like, you just got Esco so far ahead. Once he built his Tiamat and he started pressuring and proxying on his own, like literally just completely carried the game. And once the team fights started to happen, that just like completely set it over the top. So good job from Monkeys Mafia to turn this one around and basically take what essentially was a really bad game 1 and flip the script and make Bloom Gaming look like they didn't belong here in game 2. And this sets up for a either really exciting game 3 or a we told you so, we are better than you kind of game 3 from Monkeys Mafia. So really good job from them to turn it around.
They're really trying to sit here and say, like, hey, don't count us out just because we give you 1 game. Like, we don't care that we lose these games. Like, we lose a game, fine. Maybe this game was just us trying to toy around, trying to make things work. But at the end of the day, though, it seems like we it seems like honestly we managed to get into quite a bit of hell of a series here.
Yeah. Okay. So with that, we are still recovering a little bit from the technical difficulties, so we do apologize. But don't go anywhere. Game 3 is going to come back. We'll start it off with a little bit more of you know talking about what happened and what we're gonna do. But yeah, so don't go anywhere. Bloom Gaming, Monkey Mafia, Game 3 coming up. We'll be right back.
And what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Game 3 of Monkey Mafia versus Bloom Gaming Bubble Blowers. As we did see in Game 1, Bloom Gaming able to take it. Game 2, this time around, it was an absolute 180 as Monkey Mafia comes out cylinders full blowing, and they were able to make sure that they were able to secure that win. And now we're going right here into Game 3 as we do see these bans coming up. First off, Diana off on the side of Monkey Mafia, while with the other side of Zoe being banned by Bloom Gaming.
Yeah, and so it is Swip Swap. Bloom Gaming is back on blue side now, and Mafia is on red side. So you are the names are right, but the team name in the middle is wrong. But yeah, so we are in a bit of a delay. We are like way behind, so we are going to speed through it. I didn't think it was going to be this quick, but we are going to speed through this draft as we get into this. Both of these teams actually, picking very standard style comps here. I do love the MF Zyra for Mafia in the bot lane on the red side here, but for the side of Bloom Gaming, they went back to a very standard high level meta draft here. I think that Aquaphilus on this Cassidy is going to be able to show a lot of his skills here too, as he's a very expression champ, as we saw with the Silas. Did really well with the Veigar that is not so expression oriented. Not so good. So I am excited to see him on this. And as far as Mafia, the Zyra MF in the bot lane, high kill pressure, a lot of damage and poke, and then the Syndra and Jarvan for a jungler like Vul, right up his alley. And then, like I said, we're getting into this quick, so not a lot to talk about here. But
already Chromium chasing down Esco as the Ignite's already dropped onto him. This Urgot getting a very early advantage as we see a little scuffle up in the top side.
Yeah, and I was just going to say that, like, the Trundle into, the J4, obviously Trundle is very solid, strong. These guys are just ready to scrap, and Shark Enthusiast taking a ton of damage on the front side of this fight and having to kind of back off. But hopefully, if Rakan can land his Qs, he does actually have a lot of sustain for himself and his lane partner, so we'll see. But yeah, this is probably the most even draft that we have seen so far. So we're going to see now as the quick path over to the top here from King Vulgai will be on a ward, but we'll see if he can get anything out of this.
And right now, from what I'm seeing, is at this point, what we're looking at is for the side of Bloom Gaming is the entire bot side, so mid down to bot. Just you're looking to hit 6, and once you hit 6, you're gonna feel significantly safer. But once again, King Vulgai being the first one to the gank as he comes up to the top side, trying to get a little bit out of Chromium, maybe force his flash, but not gonna be able to do enough damage to make him feel unsafe and to try to get back under his tower as he is close enough. Chromium though, know that he's there. Wait a second, why'd you walk back in? Uses the flip, nicely done. So then he could actually just kind of still stay here. I am a little worried though, because even though the J4 is somewhat low on his mana, I wouldn't want to keep trying to constantly keep re-engaging this, knowing that you're kind of just giving up your location to Duddy. Duddy now is just walking through his jungle at this point, and gonna use the pillar, able to knock up Angel, but this is a slowed down Zyra here, who is walking up a little bit more farther forward. No W is gonna actually go out from the Rakan, so not gonna be able to get that damage is coming out from this Yorick though. Wait, whoa, what is this matchup up in the top side? I guess I'm not familiar with the Yorick Urgot matchup, but right now Esco is getting the chance to show his stuff as he's really putting the pressure on the Crow.
Normally, this is going to be Urgot sided, as we saw from the first part, especially once the PTA procs off. However, the amount of time that Vulgai sat up top, unfortunately, there was nothing they could do. Like, I think that Chromium did the right thing by trying to harass and keep him interested. Never had to burn his flash, so he was never in any real trouble. But now, since he was messing with the Jarvan for so long, you give Esco the opportunity to sustain back with his Q. He does get a lot of healing off of that Q, especially as it levels up. And then just free, I guess, poke with the ghouls and stuff is Duddy's trying to make his presence known, but just not able to find anything on the bot side and now on the mid lane here. So I do think it might end up being up to the laners of Bloom Gaming to make their own plays, because Trundle is having a really hard time getting on top of, like, basically anyone here.
And this is what I mean by they want to hit 6, because at that point, once you do hit 6 with any of these champions, their dueling potential and their potential to actually force someone out of lane or their kill pressure basically becomes significantly higher. Where if you're able to like say for example, top lane hit 6, now you have that constant kill pressure of you land the PTA, you get the ignite down. If you ult, you now are able to kill them. Whenever a Kassadin hits 6, literally you start to feel for your life that he's just gonna jump on top of you and all of a sudden delete you. Even though it's the first strike this time around, hold on, we might be able to get that solo kill that we were talking about, Flash coming out of Crow. Vul guy though is here and he's looking for it, but so is Duddy, able to chase him down. The King's Domain comes, the domain drops down on it, and it's not gonna be enough. Both the junglers decided to be like, let's say thumbs up and go walk away.
Yeah, and if Chromium isn't careful here, this could be an absolutely huge freeze for Esco on this York. He is letting this entire like wave and a half advantage push into him here. You can see it a little bit on the minimap here where the wave is just completely gone for the Yorick, so he's going to be able to catch this, and this is going to be very hard for Chromium to be able to do anything with this, as Shark Enhancement does end up getting a jump onto Angel here, but just no mana on My Team is Muted, and they're going to have to kind of let go of this play here. But both teams wanting to back, especially here on the bot lane. Angel does have a lot of mana, but yeah, King Full Guy making his presence known again.
And get the flag and drag, able to land it onto the Rakan. Shark Enthusiast, though, able to utilize the W to get away.
Yeah, and that's just kind of like the unfortunate things about like ganking into a Rakan, right? It seems like now that Kassadin is level 6, like what lane is easy to gank for this Jarvan, right? You have the Urgot, who we've already seen. Chromium knows how to buffer the flag and drag and basically use it to his own advantage. You have a Rakan in the bot lane. You have Kassadin in the mid lane. So this is going to be really hard for Vulgai to find any real avenues of approach here. So he is making the best of his time by taking this dragon before Bloom Gaming can respond. But yeah, if they can segue this into like a quick grubs as soon as they spawn for to give to your Yorick, this could actually be huge for the side of Monkey Mafia.
I was going to say, Pillar dropped and able to get the flash out of the mid laner from the side of Monkey Mafia. Right now, the Syndra is going to be flashless. That's definitely a dangerous factor to be up against a Kassadin with, especially if the Trundle tries to make another wraparound gank at some point.
Yeah, and that's exactly what he should do. And the way that Duddy jungled in the first game, you would expect to see it, but it does kind of seem like game 2, he was very apprehensive on pulling like the all-in on these ganks or trying to like do repeats. We didn't see him anywhere as active, last game as he was on the Malkai in game 1, but Bloom Gaming is realizing that they do have numbers advantages in multiple places.
As they go ahead and try to chase up to Escrow. Escrow going to drop the Maiden, trying to get a little bit of damage down. Flash is over, but the first blood going over to the Urgot. Flash, no, with the ultimate barely missed. But Angel going to be able to return one back at the same time while My Team is Muted is able to just get it. It's actually a 2-for-1 overall on the map on the side of Bloom Gaming.
Yeah, and that was huge. And Donglicker, trying to get that on Aqua. Aqua's tempting fate over here, but yeah, that was just a really strong heads up play. Varus actually hit level 6 there and got the ult off. Angel didn't even have an ult yet, so huge play for them to be a level down and still get that, as it does look like they're going to go the Bloodthirster route for this MF, which I really do like, especially since they don't have any sustain whatsoever coming from the Zyra, obviously, whereas the Varus is going to have that with the Rakan in his pocket. So I do like this a lot, as now Angel is going to be trying to press this advantage here, where I do think, especially in the 1v1 with no ult for My Team is Muted, definitely have this win here.
I'm not sure entirely too how well I feel about the poke Varus into this with this composition in particular. So seeing them go the lethality route right now is kind of making me feel like, okay, but like, because again, like she can now just basically walk you down. If she drops the bullet, not the bullet time, but if she drops the make it rain on top of you, she can just drop it. But here we go, a fight's gonna be used. The Cataclysm traps in Chromium, no flash, no way to escape. Esco gonna be able to take that kill up top.
That is one of the weirdest interactions I think that I will see all day, and not to detract from the great play because they did a good job. Is like with the terraforming, you have the Cataclysm, then you have the Yorick of the like mini baby cage, and like it was so weird there because it literally looked like Urgot wasn't doing anything. He wasn't moving, he wasn't shooting, he wasn't like whatever. So it just feels so weird. And for King Vul to be able to steal these grubs right now, right under the nose of Trundle, who is literally sitting mid for no reason. Yeah, this is kind of a bit of a buffoon play by Duddy here. Doesn't seem like he was really concentrating on the objective there. It does look like he's just trying to force this mid wave here, but not going to get anything out of it. And a lot of wasted time for the side of Bloom Gaming there, as they did seem to have a lot of momentum on their side, but not really anymore.
Yeah, I was actually having a lot of hope out for Bloom Gaming, especially in, like I said, the bottom half of the map where they're kind of expected just to try to hit 6 and then maybe be able to make something work. Again, if you can, like, for example, Shark Enthusiast has the biggest potential to stop the MF with the grand entrance into quickness, and that would, you know, like, they have a lot of counterplay factor, but that's basically them hoping that at this point that Monkey Mafia is going to engage into them, and then they can kind of just, like, counter engage. And I don't think that they're really giving them any of those type of opportunities. Like, the MF is hanging back. She's able to sustain with the Vampiric Scepter and just kind of poke things out. And if she does manage to get those multiple autos off, that PTA hurts, and it starts going from PTA to BTA real quick. So you gotta be real careful what you're doing here. And even then, I honestly was expecting Aquafelix to be a little bit more of a dominating factor once he hits 6, able to kind of just run them down as the quickness grand entrance lands all onto Angel. Gonna try to use the bullet time, but it ain't gonna be enough. Right when I was talking about it, it happens, and my team is muted. It's gonna be able to take that second kill with a little bit of help from Dudley down in the bot side.
Yeah, and he was able to hold his ult there too. I know that you were a little confused as to why they went for the the poke Varus or lethality build. So like this just ends up becoming something that, like, especially the higher elo that you are, the more you lean towards this Varus, and the reason is just because simply the damage on the outset is just so much higher, and we're starting to see it already where these Qs are really starting to come in. And even though they have the Vamp Scepter, Angel is not able to really sustain very much at all from this Varus poke. So when it comes down to it, they're able to start these fights with 2/3, maybe even half a health on the MF already there, and it only takes like 1 or 2 Qs from my team is muted, and if they have a stack or two of Blight, like, it's a lot of freaking damage coming out from this Varus, as the Drake is picked up by Monkey Mafia, and that is now the first 3 objectives going their way. So which started out, at least in kill and like theme wise, was really favoring Bloom Gaming. It's kind of turned its way around now, and Monkey Mafia is poised to start pushing the tempo of this game up.
I'm kind of concerned because I didn't realize the silent lead that was being built up in the top side until I looked at the CS difference, and I'm just like, oh, wait a second. Why is the Urgot already almost 40 farm down, but ends up getting a solo kill? Esco a little too greedy up in that top side, as we're going to get a real quick replay. Tries to go chase him down with the maiden, sees him half health, gets him flash, flip into the turret, suppressed, and boom, dragged under the maws of the crab. And that's going to be the that's going to be falling for him in that 1v1. Literally, we start talking about the CS difference, and it's like, oh, he's ahead. Yorick is ahead here. And it did not matter, as they managed to get the flash out of Syndra in that mid lane there, as Duddy's really trying to put a little bit more pressure onto this map, it seems. But I think Vulgai still does have the advantage overall in the jungle.
Yeah, he does for now. Trundle is getting a lot of flat. Ooh,
this grand entrance, and they find it once again. That poke Varus, is it gonna be enough? Yes, it is. My team is muted, secures another kill down in that bot side. Once again, every single time, grand entrance into quickness, grand entrance into quickness. But this might be the end for my team is muted, as he's gonna end up losing his life, as Vulgai is able to secure that after the fact. Now we do have Dongo trying to get here. Cataclysm gonna drop. They didn't want to have to use that ultimate, but it ends up getting them the double kill, and that's finally a little bit going the other side for that bot lane of Monkey Mayhem, or Monkey Mafia. It does feel like mayhem, though.
Yeah, and that's like one of those things, like, you can actually buffer out the Cataclysm damage by flashing, but you cannot do it with Rakan's W. So good job holding that and just trying to do as much tiny little bit of damage as you can. But yeah, on the other side of that, is Crunium is just kind of caught out here, but he does have the Trundle.
Honestly, at first it didn't seem like he was gonna get
Yeah.
too much, but because he was caught under the turret, it definitely
Hmm.
chunked him a bit. But because I was taking a quick look and I'm like, oh yeah, already full Titanic Hydra for the side of for the Urgot on the side of Bloom Gaming. And hold on, Duddy
Here
is
it comes.
here, and here he comes. They're waiting for the pillar to drop. There goes the pillar. There is a flash available on Esco with his Vul guy is here to be able to help his jungler, but the suppress able to come in. You're not able to get the kill. The fear able to secure it, and now Vul guy just trying to
Oh
find him, but the
no.
double kill over the Bloom Gaming top laner as the Urgot now is starting to get ramped up.
Yeah, that's like one of those quick time bomb kind of deals where, like, if you kill the Urgot before he ends up getting the the suppression pull in, you can actually save your laner. Is now the mid lane coming through the
Oh,
level
Aqua
11
Felix.
Kassadin. Yeah, now
Yeah,
you're starting to see some of that damage come out, and once he hits 16 is when he becomes a real menace. But what I was saying is that Volguy did try to end up killing Frunium before that could happen, but Duddy sticking on the Yorick for just enough to get that to come off, and then of course the suppression hits and the ult comes through, and then the huge fear, all of his cooldowns were reset at that point. So big play from Crunium and Duddy to be there at the perfect time. That can end up being something where Crunium once again can take over this game, a la Esco game 2 or Crunium game 1 on the Aatrox once he started joining the fight. So this one can turn in as another counter gank coming through.
Yep, we see the Grand Entrance go in this time, but not enough time for the quickness as a lot of damage is dropped on the Shark Enthusiast. Haven't used the quickness for the escape. And he's looking to go back in. Flag and drag, gonna go. Take one turret shot, not enough, but the poke of the Varus, the Q, able to land that piercing arrow, pierces through the heart of Angel, and is gonna send them right back to the gray screen once again. And that is, now that we know that Volguy's on the bot side, this is gonna be the time for them to take the objective up top, and the Rift Tail secured for the side of Bloom Gaming.
Yeah, and if Duddy had been a little more map aware during the time that the grubs were taken, they could at least have 1 or 2 grubs to go along with this Urgot, which would be absolutely huge. Trundle, even though he's a jungler, can also do a lot of damage to turrets really quickly. So a little bit of a misplay early on is kind of biting them a little bit, but they do pick up the Rift Herald. They are going to be able to pop this tier 2, or at least maybe use this to pop the tier 1 in the mid lane and get it as a numbers advantage for Dragon.
We do have the chase down pillar gonna drop. No flash available on the Syndra, and Duddy this time looking like the superior. It's starting to look like a better jungler than that last game. This is definitely much more even of a jungle matchup this time around, but Duddy definitely showing glimpses of game 1 once again on this Trundle.
Yeah, and I don't think that it's over. I think that they're going to continue chasing everything that they can and trying to completely zone out or push the rest of the map while the dragon spawns here. As we do see Kassadin is still pressuring this mid lane. They do have a bit of a numbers advantage because the Syndra is dead and the Aqua Felix can come down, as it does look like he's about to start coming down now. So this is either going to be King Volguy, setting up a hero steal, or he's going to give it away. It does look like Monkey Mafia are going to try to just give this one away, concede this one. They did get the first 2, but the third one and the first of the Soul type is now going over to Bloom Gaming, and so that's the first 3 objectives going over to Monkey Mafia. The second 2 going over to Bloom Gaming. So this could be a telltale of how this game was actually going, where Monkey Mafia a little bit ahead, and now they're starting to fall behind, and the tempo is being pushed the exact opposite way.
Aqua Felix is really playing around with Syndra, using
loves
the
doing
Rift
that.
Walk to just bait out the Scatter of the Weak so he can just jump on top of her, and it's just like, yo, he's gonna keep doing that to you every time. And if he keeps doing that, it just, again, we were waiting for when the Kassadin was just gonna be able to just jump on, engage. This Kassadin doesn't have the doesn't unfortunately have I think he went first strike instead of going for the like the electrocute build, so he can be a lot more of a threat, at least initially. But I think once he starts jumping on top of some of these carries, it's going to be very, very scary. And we do see a very scary thing is the Urgot is on this bot side. They're looking for the tower dive. Rift Herald summon, looking to take it. Bullet time going to try to clear the way, but it's not going to be enough quickness. And the Grand Entrance into quickness going to be able to take him out as my team is muted, able to kill him off. The fear beyond death used on the Zyra up on the bot side, and that's going to be the kill given over to the Urgot. This Urgot is an absolute raid boss right now. Top lane turret going to be taken for by Monkey Mafia, but it's still not going to be enough as the Cataclysm drops on him, trying to get a little bit more. But Varus able to take that kill as the Q is found onto the to Jarvan, and that's just going to be even more given over to the side of Bloom Gaming. They are really poised to take this game right now. 4K gold up, and it's only right now the top side that seems like they're really doing much.
Yeah, and like that was such a good job of juggling the turret aggro as well. Jarvan doing a good job trying to get this as Duddy is showing up here, and
Esco has used the flash going over towards the Gromp, but Duddy's still looking for
doesn't
more.
guarantee him out.
Yeah, even the slow didn't land from the E. Jumps in with the Rift Walk, able to get a little bit more. The Q healing, gonna be able to get him to live a little bit more, but Duddy just decides to take it with the Chomp, and that's another kill over to the side of Bloom Gaming.
Yeah, and just a little bit of an overstay. I actually think that Esco would have done himself a favor by just hitting that and, taking that turret down, knowing that the Trundle was coming. He kind of sensed it and started backing off. I think one or two more Q shots probably would have, using that spade would have been able to take that turret down. As we are getting a teleport behind the Syndra on the bot lane here.
No. Just scatter the weak, gonna be able to land the stun, but the charge goes the wrong way. And it's just, oh yeah, wait, there's no turret here. So he can just continue chasing. Scatter the weak, gonna be able to land that stun, but we're looking for a really good grand entrance here. But Vulgai is also here to help his mid laner, but they don't remember that there's a very powerful top laner looking to chase him down. Vulgai's all alone as Queenie comes down, trying to drop a little bit of damage, but you're a squishy Zyra ultimate used by the Zyra. Gonna be able to go in Cataclysm, takes him down as the Zyra gets the shutdown on the Chromium. Yes, you want it on your is on the damage support, but you guys finally managed to take down that Urgot and getting a little goal for themselves as Monkey Mafia had used a lot, but was able to find something in that fight.
Yeah, they were, and that was something that Chromium actually started out. He didn't use the Fear Beyond Death early on to slow her down. He did wait, I think, a little bit too long. I think if he would have used it right away, maybe would have been able to, keep her slowed down and kill him himself. But now Esco's kind of caught up.
Esco is founded. Aquaphilus and Esco, Aquaphilus and Duddy Brain's gonna unfortunately, not use his brain and block off his own path.
Yeah, he put his skinny jeans on and just walked around that pillar. I didn't think there was enough room for Yumi to fit through there, but Yorick somehow finds a way. So good job by Esco to get out of that, because I thought he was dead to rights. So able to keep some pressure down on this bot lane. We are a minute away from the dragon spawning. The Baron has spawned, but there hasn't really been any big advantage gain from either team to sort of pressure that. As we do now see Aquaphilus is starting to... he's moved over to the top lane. Oh,
Pillar gonna land onto the MF, but the MF able to utilize a bit of, able to just kind of walk away and drop a bit of damage onto Duddy Brains, even with all the armor that he's built up so far. Plated Steel Cast plus the Deadman's Plate, he still took a chunk of damage from that MF, so we're gonna have to watch out for her. It looks like she's going the Essence Reaver route this time around, so she's really gonna want to be able to just keep spell weaving, but jumps on top of him. Aqua Felix does have the Rift Walk if they wanted to continue this onslaught onto the Syndra, but it's not gonna do anything else, as we do see right here in the mid lane, Duddy is poised, ready to see. Flag gives the vision, able to see that he is there, but he does not care, as the Make It Rain gonna drop, try to get him out of that brush, and they're trying to get this Drake, as they do have two, so they don't want to keep giving up the Drake stacking even more, especially for an Ocean Soul. Maiden is gonna be dropped, grand entrance, quickness into the whole team, and it's not big bullet time coming in, but stopped immediately by the silence of the Angel. But Duddy Brain's gonna fall to the Syndra off on the side as they continue on. Flag and drag, not gonna be able to get the not gonna be able to get anything on him. But a big suppression for the damage from the Q, able to get it, as that was such a long drag. Now both junglers dead on both sides. TP coming in as the Cassidy, I believe, is looking for it, but not gonna get anything. That TP takes so long now, not gonna be able to get that flank off to the side. But with both junglers down, I do think that the better team, the team that's more ahead, wins the Drake fight at this point, and it's looking like that's gonna be Bloom Gaming.
Yeah, and Aquaphilus is so strong now on this Cassidy. He does have his 2 items completed. If you have not been following what's been going on, it is a Rod of Ages into a Manamune, followed by a Seraph's Third. So it is a strange thing to see. Riot did open up the possibility for multiple tier items to come through, so Cassidy does build the Manamune on top of the Rod of Ages and then goes the Surf, so it's a little weird, but it is the right thing to do right now. It did get nerfed in this prior patch just a little bit for champions like Cassidy and Ryze, just the tier mana. Obviously Ryze is not building the Manamune, but it is still until anyone, tells us different, is still the better or the best itemization pattern as King Bull Guy going back in.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Flag and drag going to be used, so you can't escape as the pillar knocks. Wow, as the pillar cuts off your way of escape, and that's going to be another kill given over to the ADC of Bloom Gaming, as that's going to be the Syndra ult used onto Shark Enthusiast, and it's not going to be able to secure that kill. So they get one kill, take out the Syndra ulti, and Aquafelix right now able to match up with this Yorick.
Yeah, but at the same time, we're getting a Baron start and a bit of a fight. I don't think that they wanted to start the Baron. I think that was just Queenie on the backside, just throwing out her plants there, trying to aggro the Baron for Bloom Gaming to start taking damage. It does shred again, not as well as Otacon did, but a little bit better than it did itself in the last patch or last season, as Aquafel's taking a ton of damage from this Maiden now. Is kind of poised for a flash Q to just kind of kill him off here.
Yeah, that's a lot of damage taken down, but he wasn't expecting that Chromium was gonna be here using the Riftwalk trying to go in, and that's gonna be just enough. The healing from the Ocean Drake is that the Ocean Drake healing? Just barely enough. Wait a second, Aquafelix caught shopping as the ghouls are gonna be almost able to find that kill, and that would have been very interesting if the Yorick was able to take it just because he just caught him like that right there.
Yeah, that's like one of those times where you're like, you never go comment on Yorick anymore. But had he, like that would have been like the perfect time to be like, yeah, I'm kind of memeing with this rune choice, but it would have worked there. This is kind of akin to, like, this game is so back and forth.
Drag Cataclysm into a bullet time, gonna find so much as that's gonna be the shutdown. Once again, going over to the Zyra, but that is Aquafelix looking for that Zyra kill this time, trying to get something back, but it's not gonna be enough as the Syndra able to take out the Rakan, and they're looking for more. Duddy saying, nope, I already saw two of my teammates die right there. Let's just back off.
Yeah, like that was just like great. Initial fight by King Volgai to get in there, get the Cataclysm down, let the bullet time and the Mega Rain come down, just like keep everybody, all that damage, but at the same time, Aquafelix coming in from the side completely unchecked, able to ult on top of, with 2 stacks already primed, ult on top of Angel, and like MF really didn't even have a chance. I don't know if if the barrier and flash were up yet for them, but it didn't really seem to matter very much because Aquafelix just does so much damage. That is a tier 3 ultimate now, stacking up for Aquafelix on his Kassadin, so has hit level 16. This is the part where it becomes extremely difficult to keep MF alive, even when they are in good position and doing the right thing, let alone from when they're able to get caught out from the outside. But it does look like they're trying to set this.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Caught by 4 different members from the side. Aquafelix is going to drop. And it looks like Monkey Mafia right now finding a way back into this game, getting these small picks, even though they're 7 kills down, only down by 700 gold, and they want to immediately turn onto this Baron.
Right, and most of their money is now down on the south side. It is Urgot, and Yorick is going to answer with the teleport here, unable to stop it. So this is going to be a 5v4, but a lot was expelled to kill.
They go in and they're gonna try to grab it as they flag and drag. Bullet time gonna come over, but my team is muted, able to still find a kill on the King Bull guy. So now it's still a 4v4 or 3v3 as they or 3v4. Sorry, as we're gonna see 2 members from the side of Bloom Gaming gonna be dropped off on the bottom side of that fight. As Angel finally able to take on another kill, as Duddy is gonna be slain. Now it's 4 members left. Still on the side of Monkey Mafia as they are still chasing them down. They're making the way back into this game. We saw so much advantage, but they're going to be able to find Chromie off to the side, and Angel getting on a killing spree, starting off so slow, but now able to get a little bit more into the pocket, though. Flanked from the backside as Aquafelix is going to take out the MF and is looking for more as they're going to Riftwalk. Jump right on top of the Syndra, double kill over to this Kassadin. This is what a level 16 Kassadin looks like in the late game as they're going to continue to use those Riftwalks, trying to get away, looking to get over this wall. The E gonna land, and it's gonna be enough damage as Aquafelix gets slain down. Esco gonna be able to take that kill.
Yeah, that was just such a, I mean, obviously, what else are you going to do? But it was a really good play by Aquafelix to teleport after dying. So that's something that happened. The fight was so long and so drawn out that he actually had time to sit down for 35 seconds, come back in, teleport to the north side of that fight kind of after everything else had gone down. And just like we were talking about, the barrier and the flash was expended by Angel wasn't enough. Aquafelix just deletes him, took away basically all, like 60% of his health to 0 in less than half a second. And then able to flash out of the the Yorick and get on top of Donglicker as well. So the Syndra now not able to withstand very much from this Kassadin. He has hit a point now with the Malignance where his ultimate is just doing so much damage and lowering the resistances is now
Jumps in, flag drags, uses a Cataclysm on top of the bullet time, but the Pillar able to stop it all. And they're looking for this fight as Vulgai's taken down very, very low, but Duddy gonna be shredded by the team. And that is where you're looking for your Baron now, as Vulgai is still alive and the rest of the team is extremely healthy.
Yeah, and I think that he's just gonna, get up on this on these jungle minions here, and he's just going to get a little healthy. And now there is no vision for the side of Bloom Gaming, so they're going to be completely blind, whether they're stacked or not. They have no idea here, and there is a lot of potential for Zyra and York to really zone them off and do a lot of damage.
Going to be on the Rakan and the Kassadin right now to look for some type of engage. Kassadin looking from behind as Rakan's trying to look from the front. Kassadin goes in, not going to be able to do it. Immediately Rift Walk out as the Baron is secured by the side of Monkey Mafia. They're looking for him. Flag drag, going to find this Kassadin, goes over the wall. But is it going to be enough? Not enough damage to be able to drop him. But the Baron over to the side of Monkey Mafia.
Yeah, and I actually thought the King Vulgai was using his sweeper to try to find out where not to go. But no, they were actually zoning in on Aquaphilus. They are not scared of this Kassadin, and as strong as he is, they're still trying to take the fight to him. They know if they lock him down enough, they can get enough damage out quickly that he won't really be able to stay in the fight long enough. So I do kind of, without the Seraph's Embrace to be able to give you, that little added, okay, I at least will have my shield. Kassadin is very, very squishy right now. It's not full glass cannon, but it's about as close as you can get without being full glass cannon build here. So, the Rod of Ages being the only defensive item, and now no safeguard with the Seraph shield. Monkey Mafia is taking the fight to them really well, and they've kind of turned this game upside down, as now they're back in the lead with the 2k gold lead and the Baron buff minions, and this game has just gone all over the place.
Flag drag gonna go in, quickness comes out, jumps in, bullet time gonna be dropped, not gonna find anybody as Kassadin is just looking for Angel, but it's not gonna be enough. Kassadin gets taken down by Donglicker as we see Duddy chasing down King Vulgai, but it's still 1-for-1, very close. Oh my god, the thread, the needle of the fear beyond death, and it's gonna be Chromium taking down Angel as he was starting to look good in this game, but it's still Monkey Mafia having the advantage, still feeling extremely strong as they push down with these Baron buffs. Going to be able to take down the mid turret, take down the inhib, and they're not going to be able to chase down more with these Baron empowered minions, but they're still looking for it. Scatter the Weak going to go ever so wide on the Duddy Brains, and they were looking for that kill, but it's not going to be it, and that's going to be Monkey Mafia turning the game completely around as they sit on the 3k gold lead.
Yeah, and unfortunate if you're Bloom Gaming, but hey, you did get Chromium to steal that MF on the backside of that fight, so really good job with the Fear Beyond Death to be able to pull that out and get at least a little bit back, but you did lose a tier 2, you did lose a tier 3, and an inhibitor now. You're losing your entire jungle now to the side of Monkey Mafia, so they're going to have a very strong reset as this Ocean Drake is coming up. They are on Soul Point, and Bloom Gaming is going to try to stop them from getting that. I don't know how much more pressure they get as far as map objectives like the tier 2 towers and top or bot. You may end up seeing Yorick go for a 4-1 split, but I don't expect Monkey Mafia to really separate too much, and we're starting to see Donglicker turning into a counter Kassadin here, right? In the last 2 fights, basically what they've done is saved everything that they have while Angel does their bullet time and everything else that they want to do as much as they can. As soon as Kassadin tries to jump on top of this MF, Donglicker is there with the Syndra to try to scatter the weak and to try to keep him back and then try to just burst him out of the scene as soon as he comes up. So if they can keep doing that and MF can stay alive again, there may not be a Fear Beyond Death that's able to save them next time.
I've noticed that too, where a lot of these major team fights where they expect that Kassadin could potentially just jump on top of the MF, they have the Zyra and the Syndra right there to scatter the weak, to be able to use the Stranglethorns to keep them from being able to jump on top of this MF. So MF's able to get the full channels off, and even if the MF doesn't find anything, these bullet times are still splitting up the fight in a crucial way. And so right now we're looking at Aqua Felix. He's looking down, and I don't think he's the Jarvan's exactly the target he wants, but we do see in the mid lane as we do see the bullet, not the bullet time, but there's gonna be enough damage being dropped on the Duddy Brains, and we're seeing him, Dong Liquor, gonna be able to go on a killing spree as he ends up taking out the enemy jungler for the side of Bloom Gaming. Aqua Felix still looking off to the side. The Scatter the Weak lands. Flag drag, no Cataclysm though. Not gonna be one to chase down the one person who can get over the wall. And it's still right now Monkey Mafia ahead in this game looking for the Drake, and they need to either fight for this or give up the soul.
Yeah, this kind of seemed like they weren't on the same page. Like Bloom Gaming, like Aquafelis was sitting there messing with the Jarvan. He does end up stealing the blue buff, but at the same time, like they get engaged on in the mid lane, and Duddy just kind of goes down, right? And they did end up using a lot to get him, but as the
Flag and drag, bullet time gonna come down off the top, and Dog Liquor going on a rampage as the Syndra is able to secure that kill. The Syndra having all the splinter stacks, I believe, is what's making her do so much damage. But look at that Q chunk from the piercing arrow onto Angel. That's just unfortunate, but that poke damage doesn't really matter. They got the Ocean Soul as they're able to keep just regenerating some of this HP over time. This poke, what you exactly need against a poke Varus is this Ocean Soul, and they're still barreling down as they're able to find Angel, able to find Angel on the backside, but it's not going to be enough. And actually, it is, as he ends up getting taken out. Cassidy getting the triple kill, trying to carry this game on the back of himself as Escos is barely able to fight him off. The Varus going to be able to take that kill, and this is the final, this is the secondary stand that they needed in this fight to be able to get themselves at least a little bit back into this game. And I'm seeing now only 2k gold ahead for the side of Monkey Mafia, so there's still a potential chance for the side of Bloom Gaming to still take this game.
Yeah, and like that's just kind of what happens when Aqua Felix goes unchecked, and that's what happened. Like he was able to prime up his ultimate and just sit and just like get ready, and then had access to the backline. And the fact that they used so much to kill the Urgot earlier on, maybe that's why he was able to do that. But yeah, I mean, like, that's the kind of plays that you're expecting out of Aquafelis, especially on a champion like Kassadin. And now he's starting to show, like, level 17, level 18, you know, fully stacked, gets the Seraph's Embrace as well. So that's almost stacked up as well. So he's going to have a huge shield on the back end of these fights when he finally starts taking damage to give him a little bit more safety and keep him in longer. So it's starting to turn around. The scaling is going the way of Bloom Gaming. They just have to buy just a little bit more time and have a couple more fights like that, and then get some easy picks or get some like surprise picks before something. So like now we have the Baron setting up. Gonna have to try something.
They're trying to go in. Queenie going gold to be able to stop, but the quickness and grand entrance immediately able to go ahead and knock him down as my team is muted, is able to slay them all. And that's gonna be another kill going into the support. Resurrection coming down. Bullet time gonna go ahead and stop and maybe be able to stay the J4 for just a little bit. But that was just what they needed. Absolutely finding their way back into it. Bloom Gaming now feel that they feel safe enough to be able to go for this as the support currently is down. But King Vulgai is right over the wall clearing the vision. But is he going to be one to go over it? No. Flag and Drag now used to escape. And this Baron now being given over to the side of Bloom Gaming. They're giving us one hell of a game right now. And they're going to even it out here with that Baron buff.
Yeah, like Beaver said, never say never, and that's exactly what Bloom Gaming is doing right now. Aquafil is just taking this game into his own hands. He has now hit the 4-item spike. He also gets a Zonia's on the back of that as the Seraphs is completed. So between him and Shark just taking these engages and just saying, guys, we have a Kassadin, level 18, let's just go. Him and Shark are just engaging at the same time, and when they do this, there's not really any response that can happen from the side of Mafia. So if Mafia doesn't get these plays set up prior and get York into a good position and get everything that they need, then we're starting to see where this draft from Bloom Gaming can really shine. Unfortunately, the Trundle is really only able to kind of stifle off some escapes, but he might have to try to do this himself.
Though. Yeah, Trundle doesn't know that there's a literal death brush sitting right there, right behind his red, and they're looking for him too. As they find them, flag drag, the flag ends up missing, and they're like, you know what? We just, as long as we keep them off this side of the map, we'll be good. Like they want to, I think right now both these teams know that whoever wins the Elder is basically winning this game unless a massive fight happens beforehand. We do see that though the members of Monkey Mafia are generally traveling as 4 a lot of the time, so they don't want to end up getting caught unawares or alone at any point in time.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that like they kind of gave their position away when the flag went down. obviously whether he drags or not on the back end of that doesn't matter. But yeah, he kind of gave his position away, and he's not going to be alone by himself. Because oh my god, this is the Poke Varus coming through for you. By the way, that is so much damage. Just one fully charged Q is half of Angel's HP, and without any minions really to bounce off of, like, just can't lifesteal this quick enough. So
also, yeah, I'm gonna say this real quick because I just noticed this. It does irritate me now that the fact that because of the 7 items for 80 carries, their last item is so wide open. Like, and it's like, okay, cool. Oh wait, Varus is part AP. Let's build a Zonia's. Why not? And so now you're sitting here dealing with the fact that he's even significantly harder to kill if you try to jump on top of him, which is what you want to do. And then now that you expended so many resources to jump on top of this Varus to try to get him out of the game, you now have this quickness coming out from Shark, who has been absolutely insane on these engagements. You have you now have the ability to jump on as Aquafelis on this Cassidon, which is another reason why they're able to get onto this game, because that one triple kill within the base was the absolute turnaround that we saw, and ever since then, Bloom Gaming has been again on the the upper foot of this entire game. So what is it gonna take for them? Again, they need to catch My Team is muted unaware, so he can't drop this damage. They need to be able to make sure that Aquafelis can't get on top of Angel. But we do see immediately jumping in with the grand entrance, and that's gonna chunk down Vool Guy. And that's even better because you do see that the charm was not used by the Rakan. The quickness was not used here. So that is now they still have that resource, even though they were able to force out the flash from the Jarvan.
Yeah, and even against some of these tankier members, these arrows are really starting to hurt. But yeah, the 7 items is cool. But yeah, we're about to get a fight over this Elder Dragon. This might be the last fight of the game, so go ahead.
Let's go ahead and take a look. Scatter Weak lands onto the Trundle, but it's not going to do any damage to him. Pillar is going to be it, as we're looking for the Cassidon off in the top. He's trying to find the proper flank as they want to protect Angel. We're doing see the Urgot being chunked down by a lot of damage. He's damn near dead, but the Maiden going to be dropped in the mid lane. They're going to be able to send those minions over, the ghouls over to Chromium. He has to back off here. He does not have, he does actually have his TP. So if he wants to try to back here real quick and just come back to the fight, so as long as he drops the board. Yep, so they have no choice but to do it here. They don't want to give up this Elder Drake either. Whoever ends up winning this is going to end up winning the overall game. TP is now being channeled by both the mid and top laners on the side of Bloom Gaming, and they're trying to find it. Angel though gonna be sitting there fearing for his life as the Cassidon is right behind. He's gonna be able to split this fight up. 2 members gonna be looking for him as they're able to get it going golden, as Angel's gonna be taking down the low HP. Gonna see the Fear Beyond Death coming out from the Urgot, not gonna land onto any low health members as the bullet time drops over there, and that's gonna be Shark Enthusiast getting taken down by Angel, as they were not able to kill him off on the backside of the fight. Dawnglaive is able to take out Chromium, and that's gonna be 2 team members from the side of Bloom Gaming taken down as the support and the top laner are ripped out, as they do find the golden Varus. He's able to use the Blast Cone to try to get away, but is not gonna be able to do so as Angel ends up killing his enemy 80 carry, and that is going to be the Elder Drake going over to the side of Monkey Mafia. Absolutely insane patience to play, able to keep Angel alive and avoid all that damage from the Cassidon. And now we see, as it is, the Elder going over to the side of Monkey Mafia.
Oh man, what a long, elongated fight there for you. Yeah, and like 90% of that fight hinges on whether Angel can stay away from Aqua long enough to just be able to deal some damage, and that's exactly what happened, just running for his life the entire time. And Aquafelis just not able to close the distance there. I kind of would have liked to have seen Chromium maybe teleport alongside there.
As the final fight, Redemption dropping down as Aquafelis tries to go in. 2 members taken down super low, and that's gonna be a double kill over to the Cassidon as he's able to take down two of the bot laners. But it's not enough, as we do see though the Fear Beyond Death able to land, and that's gonna be a suppression. 1 Nexus turret is still alive as the Syndra goes down to the Trundle, and that's crazy how they're turning this fight around. They're gonna try to pop the AS King Bull guys, trying to get away, and he's able to just flag and drag, sweeping, hoping they can't catch him. But the slow from the pillar is gonna stop him. Blast Cone barely saves his life as 4 members are dropped from the side of Monkey Mafia in an absolute last stand.
Legit just turned a 3v5 with Elder into a 4-for-1 right there. Like, that is insane. And Jarvan barely getting out of there with his life. There's such a huge play from Shark and Aqua. I feel like we've been saying it ever since the Kassadin turned level 11. Shark and Aqua have just been all over these fights. And when he's able to get on top of him, whether it is in the midst of chaos or whether it's on the front or back end of fights, Aquaphilus sneezing in Angel's direction is killing this MF every single time. So huge hero plays from both of them. They have the Baron once again. This is the third Baron of the game, the second for them. When you win the Elder, you think you win the game, and that just isn't the case because Aquaphilus is just
it was looking like it though. Like they were just tunneling down straight down the mid lane. They were taking out the Nexus turrets. Next thing you know, Kassadin blows up the bot lane, and then you have all of a sudden it's like, okay, cool. We still do have that level 20 Urgot that's sitting back there though. Y'all forgot about him. And then he just jumps in, gets the Fear Beyond Death onto the Yorick, which then turns that entire fight into a 3v2. And once they catch him out, it was over from there. And now look at that. We're looking at even though it's only about a 1k gold lead from the side of Monkey Mafia, we are literally yeah, exactly. We're at this point now where it's all about the items and it's all about the hands. So who's gonna have the better of the two? And we're about to look at it right now, as it seems that Bubble, you know, the Bloom Gaming Bubble Blowers really want to try to push this down. And I have to give them the respect of the full name because they are actually giving Monkey Mafia one hell of a game.
Yeah, they are, and they're poised to kind of turn this one on its back. I like the fact that they are using their Baron so well, but Aquaphilus charging up his ultimate here on the outside now, and with the Flag and Drag down, I don't know if they're going to have the Cataclysm set up. Maybe, oh, okay, so they bought themselves some time, but yeah, I think they're going to wait for a Scatter the Weak into a Cataclysm setup for the bullet time. They just have to make sure that Angel is safe enough from Kassadin to, you know, get their bullet time off. And sending Esco to deal with him, I think is the right call, but he's almost at the back end now.
Felix is gonna get caught out here as he ends up getting caught, chunked down to about 1/3 of his HP, and he's gonna have to, he's gonna have to TP back into this fight. Flag drag going in. He has to force to cancel the recall. As he ends up finding the MF off from the backside. He's gonna be able to take it. They take each other as the two main carries are gonna be able to go ahead and go down. As we do see though, Yorick is now a raid boss, and he's looking for those kills as he ends up getting the double kill on his enemy top laner and taking out their jungler. He's gonna TP, trying to get down to this turret to be able to start knocking it down, and it's actually going to be the Varus trying to save the game here, but it's not going to be enough. Gold's golden, and it's the Nexus turret dropping as they end up dropping the Varus alongside it, and that's going to be it. That's Monkey Mafia taking game 3 and one banger of a 45-minute clash.
Oh my gosh. King Vulgai with the biggest engage of the series there on the back end there, finally getting his point to allow Angel to get a full bullet time off. And is there anything more apropos than them killing each other at the end, where she gets off her you know, double up as he ults on top of her, they kill each other. What a great game. And unfortunately the first two games of this series were not like this. It was very one-sided both ways. Bloom Gaming came out, stomped, Mafia comes back, stomped, and then you get into this game 3 and it's like, where was this the whole time, right? Like this was absolute banger. This is exactly what I wanted to see from both of these teams. I wish we got it for all 3 games, but in the end, at least one of these, I guess, is kind of worth it. And you know, hats off to both of these teams. But Monkey Mafia coming in, you know, and as the favorites, and they want that 4-0. They get it. That was such a fun game 3 to see. That was so back and forth. It was 91 to 90k in gold. So even, so poised just off of you know, who is going to make the biggest or best play, and it ends up being King Vulgai on the J4, setting up while, you know, Yorick just doing everything that he needed to keep Aquaphilus on his Kassadin as far away from the MF as he could, until he couldn't anymore, and then they kill each other. So crazy game 3. Hats off to both of these guys, and congrats to you know, Mafia. They deserve it, and you know, going into next week 4-0.
I just want to say, give some props really to Bloom Gaming, because they definitely put up one hell of a fight. Game 1 definitely showed that they can be a dominant force. Game 2, obviously they got taken for a little bit of a ride in that game, but I think they learned a lot from that game 2, which allowed for this game 3 to be such a decisive one. And I think a lot of people will look at this game and be like, hell yeah, this was a lot of fun to watch. And I sure hope that, the Bloom Gaming team takes it as like, yo, we did this with 2 subs also. So like we get our full team synergized and we're able to really hopefully, get all cylinders firing and try to get ourselves to a much better spot. There's nothing wrong with being at this 2-2 spot whatsoever. You just kind of have to refine some things and maybe look back at this and be like, all right, maybe we shouldn't have done this here, and they'll be able to learn from it. It's more of a learning experience more than anything for both these teams, I feel, because that first game is like, hey, maybe we shouldn't experiment so much if that's exactly what Monkey Mafia was doing. So yeah, if you really you feel confident, you really want to try these new things, definitely try these new things. But in that sense of, you almost lost the series because that first game you decided to try something out, and in that third game we really saw where Bloom Gaming potentially could have won. And so I think like for them it's like, hey, maybe we don't do these little throwaway games. Not, I don't necessarily say it was a throwaway game, but maybe they don't just give, trying to do like these weird compositions where they kind of get beaten in draft, and that's maybe the lesson they learned from this. And I just think for overall though, all 3 games absolutely show what these teams are capable of for their ceilings, and also show that these guys can really put on the gloves and go toe to toe with one another.
Yeah, no, absolutely. In Bloom Gaming, sometimes like you're just not there yet, right? And they could obviously fine tune where they end up by the end of the season, and maybe you never know. I mean, Group A, Group B, depending on how the playoffs shake out, we could end up having these guys again in the playoffs, seeing each other. It's not anything that's far fetched, they're on a specific trajectory. They win one, they lose one, win one, lose one. So next week you would think, okay, but you can't take it for granted. I think that they get back to the drawing board, take a lot from this series, because they do have the potential to absolutely come back and play in games where they look dead, and they also have the propensity to outdraft their opponents and just completely slaughter them. So that there's somewhere in the middle is where they're at. And Monkey Mafia, as the number 1 seed now in Group B, maybe they're just the juggernaut right now, but anything can change. Strategies can change. Metas can change. We've seen that. So anything can happen. But with that, big congratulations once again to Monkeys Mafia coming away 4-0. Bloom Gaming, unfortunately, 2-2. I have been Fel. This is Malco. Thank you, Shivam, for stepping in and fixing all the stuff. Unfortunately for Breadkiss, good try to get all the stuff going. I know he feels absolutely terrible. But from us to you, thank you so much for joining us. Appreciate you guys, and have a wonderful weekend. We'll see you next Friday.